Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Across the Waves. Today is Boston style. That's right.
Oh yeah. Is it Boston or Boston? Yeah. Is it Boston? You
I
got
know, right?
that accent,
One of those.
You know, I'm not good at that,
Oh
I,
my God.
I'm good with I think it's an Irish or Scottish accent.
So, how you been today, Keith?
I'm actually good. Well, except for it's been extremely hot and humid up here in New York, and obviously we can see it. It's going around the world, especially in
Yeah.
the Caribbean because there was a Category 5 hurricane this week, and that's the earliest that we've ever had a Category 5. So that's also makes me worried that there's a possibility there's going to be more hurricanes coming, and
Mm.
hopefully not. It might even be a world record one, right? Because that's how bad it's been this year with the hurricanes, and I'm also worried that one of those might come up to New York because when it's hot like this at the end of the year, you might get one that might up here.
I tell you, it's hot over here in Florida. This is our June. What is June and July? It's our rainy season. So it's really, really hot. And then it rains, and then you see all the steam from the floor, and then it gets really hot again. Let's go ahead and welcome everybody in that has been. You're
Can
good.
everybody hear us? Tom said that there's no sound, so
We can hear you.
okay. Let me just double check.
So let me go ahead and welcome everybody that's so far here today. Welcome in, Planet Keebler. Nice to have you. Welcome in, Nancy. Mama Nancy, how are you, my love? Welcome in. Hello, Harlan. Welcome in. Oh my God, look who's in the house tonight. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh,
Hold
Tom,
on.
the Mustard Girl.
Okay,
Welcome back.
Keith, we got to do the dance. We got to do the dance. Woo!
Hashtag,
That's
hashtag,
right.
Buttercups.
Nice to have you here back again, Scott. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, thank
Um,
you.
thank you so much. Cruising with JK. Welcome back in. Thank you so much for being here. It's just been a great week, and even better now that our friend Scott is back. Oh my God! Look who is in the house. Cruise
Uh,
nuts.
Thank you for coming in, everybody.
There goes for cruise nuts. I'm going to be getting some sounds for everybody that comes in. So welcome in, cruise nuts. Today we're just going to be talking about the port of Boston. We're
Oh,
going to learn a
and
little bit about Boston
yeah,
today.
talk about the mustard real quick. If you don't know, he actually has a B channel, so please follow his
That's right.
And if you want to, Scott, since you're a moderator on my channel, you could just put the link to your YouTube channel for that, for your B channel.
That's right. Throw it on there because either if you're on Keith's channel, do it over there. If not, the hashtag TWT, put your channel out there so that everybody can subscribe. And I know that Cruise Nuts is here. Also, Harlan, how are you? I just turned on the sound off and back on and still no hearing. I can see
Well,
your lips moving though. Our
well,
sound is up. So I'm not
yeah,
sure. It's not us.
it's coming. You can hear it.
Yeah.
So it's on
Uh,
my YouTube channel. So
Hello, Miss Josephine. Welcome in. How
hello.
are you today? It's
It's
just it's.
my work.
I tell you, this week just got even better.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I have to give you a call because it's funny. I was just saying that I have to go visit you this summer. I gotta make a plan to go visit you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun seeing our friends here today,
yeah.
and it's going to be a good show. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the port of Boston in a little bit. We just wanted to say hello to everybody that's coming in. We're leaving a little bit of space for everybody to come in and be here so we can get ready for the show. Um, I have an announcement to make for those of you that did not watch my show yesterday. I know Cruise Nuts was there. I will be on the Utopia of the Seas on Monday on the naming ceremony. So there will be a lot of live streaming from over there. We are going to be having a live stream from across the wave next week.
Yes.
From
Join in.
Utopia.
So that's going to be before the inaugural cruise, everybody. So the inaugural cruise is what, Thursday, I think?
It's going to be Friday. Thursday, the 19th, the next day on the 19th.
Yeah. So the next day is the inaugural cruise. So coming that Wednesday, you're going to see the whole.
We'll get into port, then they'll prepare the whole ship, and then the following day, everybody comes in and does their first sailing. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's my first time on the naming ceremony, so it's going to be. I can't wait to see what it's all about.
Yeah. That's also. I wish I was a small channel back then. So I wish back then. I'm still small now, but I was like I was fresh out of the womb.
Right. I'll tell you something. I have reached out to like the higher end YouTubers, like for cruising, like JJ Cruise, Pero DJ, and all of them. So I've been asking, hey, anybody going to this naming ceremony? Anybody? Hello. I know Guga and Rob are not going to be going. So
what about the ship life? I would think he's going to go since
he's always in everything. Ship life is. I if he's there, I can't wait to meet him.
So if you're there, ask him if he remembers meeting me.
I will.
He called me big guy. So that's what he called me. Tell me it was on
If you see that I call you anytime during that time, it's probably because Ship Life is next to me. So you better pick up that phone.
Oh, call me if you're next to him.
I will be doing a little bit of a video with Jordan Bao. She's the figure skater that works for Royal Caribbean. She also has a YouTube channel. So if you don't know about her, go check her out. She works for Royal Caribbean. Look at how cool it is to see our friends saying, hello to the friends out there. So it's nice. It's really nice to have you back, Scott. We truly miss you. So
we miss you.
Yeah, so it's very nice to have you back in the live streams. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, we're going to be talking about our group cruises towards the end of the show. So stay for that. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and start our show today. And we're going to be talking, like I said, about the Port of Boston. So let's go ahead and get this done. All righty, guys. So Keith is going to be keeping an eye on the chat and all the comments with you guys. He's going to be talking to you through comments while I go ahead and talk about the Port of Boston. So I was researching this port, and it's very interesting, the cool stuff that Boston have and all the different things that you can see while you're there on port. The Port of Boston is a major seaport located in the Boston Harbor and adjacent to the city of Boston. It is in the largest port in Massachusetts and one of the principal ports of the East Coast of the United States. The Port of Boston was historically important for the growth of the city of Boston and was originally located in what is now the downtown area of the city called Long Wharf. And a conversion to other uses means that the downtown area no longer handles commercial traffic. Although there is still considerable ferries and leisure usage as Long Wharf, today the principal cargo handling facilities are located in the Boston neighborhood of Charleston, East Boston, and South Boston, and in the neighboring cities of Everett. The Port of Boston has also been an entry point for many immigrants. So a little bit about the history of this amazing port is before the colonization of the Americas, the area served as a trading post for the Native American in the region. And after the establishment of the Boston settlement by John Winthrop in 1630 and the creation of the local shipbuilding industry, the port served rapidly expanding American colonies. During that time, trade involved finished goods from England in exchange for lumber, fully constructed vessels, rum, and salted fish. With the rapid growth of the mid-Atlantic colonies in the 1750s, the port of New York and Philadelphia began to surpass Boston in their inter-colony trade. In response, the Bostonian merchants established a trade of foreign nations besides the Great Britain. This trade led a huge increase in the wealth amongst local Bay State merchants. However, guys, the British government's imposition of the regulations restricted trade to the Great Britain, combined with newly enacted taxes on the colonists, causing Bostonian merchants to join the more radical elements in American society. So after the Boston Tea Party, which all of you guys know a little bit about the Boston Tea Party, we all learned that in school, the British Parliament passed the Boston Port Act, which shut down the port until the East India Company was compensated for the damaged tea. These actions led to the American Revolutionary War. Tough, economically devastated by the Revolutionary War, the Port of Boston was again prospering with trade and with various foreign ports, such as Shanghai. The port's functions were further augmented and with Navy base of the Charleston. By the mid-19th century, the shipbuilding industry reached its peak as it displayed by a clipper ship developed by Donald Mackay. The port also saw many land reclamation projects and constructions of the new pier. With the start of the Industrial Revolution in the United States, activities in the port turned toward the trade between the states, and starting in the mid-19th centuries for the Port of Boston was eclipsed yet again with other eastern seaboard ports such as Port of New York City, and the local merchant companies were brought out by the New York businessmen. In 1956, control of the port was handled and Massachusetts Port Authority, which began the process of modernizing the port during the 1890s and the 1990s. A project dedicated to the cleanup of the Boston Harbor was overseen by the Massachusetts Water Resource Authority. So when it came through all of that, they actually revamped that whole port for you guys. And now you start to seeing like all the different, the different, I guess, the way that the port looks now is completely different than what it used to be in the 1990s. In the mid-1990s, the port went through another round of modernization. Container shipping operators were consolidated at the Colony Terminal, while the mooring terminal was dedicated to automobile shipping only. A project for dredging the harbor commenced in 1997 through the Central Tunnel Project. The ground access of the South Boston facility were improved, and the extension of the I-90 and the construction of the Ted Williams Tunnel linking South Boston with the East Boston and the Logan International Airport. The port also seen as a cruise industry, as well as expanding commercial and residential development in the Boston Waterport. So as you can see, the estimated cost to revamp that whole port was over $310 million. So it's kind of like interesting when I was going through that information, how cool it is to see like the port went from, going through all of that situation during the Revolutionary War and what the port is today. So this is all of the history that I have on the Port of Boston. So I'm going to take it to Keith so he can talk a little bit about the cruise news.
So I'm in Fenway Park right now, everybody. So please, I don't want to get any foul balls in my head. So welcome to the port of Boston, where today it was a high of 89 degrees and low 75. Yeah, it was extremely humid today. I mean, I'm in New York, so where I'm at, it's about 3.5 hours. I'm in Westchester, so it's about 3.5 hours to get to Boston. But we're in Manhattan, it was extremely humid, like so bad. At work, forget about it. It was just disgusting, right? So, like I said, it was a high 89, low 75. But it was very humid today. The minimum wage is $15 an hour. Gas is $3.50 a gallon. And the current cruise ships there's no like real major cruise lines. It's the ACL, which is ACL cruise line, and the American Eagle, which is ACL is more like a river cruise line. And this is a luxury cruise line next, which is the Silver Sea, the Silver Shadow. So that's something to know about. And those are really, really small cruise ships. I know if you go to NCL, the Gem goes out of there. And I'm not. I think Carnival. You get smaller ships that go out of there. Oh, so that's good. What's the drill? Your bees are doing good. They're making some honey, right? So So let me get to actually the other news I have actually up here. Okay, so this is one of the news story. I'm gonna call this an odd news story, right? So the headline is: Should Boston start giving rats birth control? You're gonna go up to every rat and just give them birth control. You're gonna catch them, put them out there. I really wish they would do that in Manhattan because there's so many rats everywhere. But and the story is the Boston City Council is considering a new tactic to combat the rising rodent population. District 5 Council Enrique Pepin is calling for a hearing to discuss rat birth control traps after a pilot program shows signs of success in Jamaica Plain. Okay, so that's some good news up there. I've never been to Boston, so if any of you actually have been to Boston, is the rat control like how it is over here in New York, or is it worse, or is it less? I know in the subways in New York, you get these things, they're like monsters. I'm not even kidding you. I'm at work today. One of them jumped over my shoulder. I mean, it's crazy. It's part of working, man. It's going to happen. Okay, so here's the next story. Boston police seized 13 mopeds and arrested 3 amid complaints in Back Bay. So, do not know what Back Bay. There we go. So, Boston police say they seized more than a dozen mopeds and made several arrests following a patrol operation in Boston Back Bay neighborhood on Monday. Officers were assigned to the Back Bay neighborhood to enforce motor vehicle laws involving mopeds and motorcycles. Throughout the patrol, authorities say they recorded 13 for various violations, issued multiple citations, and arrested 3 people. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was a kid, I had a friend who had a moped. Sometimes he would let me drive the moped. So, I probably should have been, how old was I? I was like 10 years old doing that, Well, I probably should have been arrested or something. And, my mother would have beat the living dead out of me. But, hey, that's part of growing up in the 90s. And don't even get me started with that, Okay, 3 people were shot in a commuter rail MBTA station parking lot in Brockton, Massachusetts, which is kind of sad. I mean, they're just trying to, obviously, it looks like they're trying to go take the train. But from the video here, it looks like it's maybe happened at night. 3 people were shot on early Wednesday in the parking lot of the MBTA Brockton station, and the officers responded at the station at 3:13 a.m. So this is actually people, more than likely they were probably out the night before, and obviously it happened at the station. But they're saying it was a car meetup. After investigation, said Brockton police spokesman Darren Duarte, 2 victims, a 19-year-old man and a 16-year-old girl, were dropped off at a hospital, and a 25-year-old man was taken to another hospital by ambulance. The victims are in stable conditions, which is good news. So, yes, they got shot, but it looks like that they will survive. Thank you. And now I'm going to pass this off to Tinka. But when I come back, I might be somewhere else in Boston. So.
Oops. Hello, everybody. I'm over here just reading the information that M is putting. M, you have me over here laughing with your the New York has rodents the size of cats. I just have to put it out there. You have me rolling over here. So anyways, let's go back to the show and let's talk a little bit about the port of Boston and the things that you can do, around this beautiful port. This port is conveniently located just 10 minutes from the Boston Logan International Airport. It's also the Flynn Cruise Port Boston is located less than 2 miles from the Boston neighborhoods, including the historic Back Bay, trendy Newsbury Street and Copley Square's shopping areas in the city's newest culinary hotspot and the South End, all within walking distance from each other. If you were to take the bus, you can take the Silver Line SL2 bus from the Black Falcon Avenue to the South Station, following the signs to transfer to the Red Line direction, and you go 2 stops to the Park Street to start at the Freedom Trail. In both in the booth are right in the Boston Common. Oh my God, that didn't make no sense, but that's what it says. And I'm talking about the Freedom Trail because we're going to be talking about this Freedom Trail in a little bit, and we're going to be giving you some information as to this right here. This is the actual Freedom Trail in that area, and you have 16 stops, as you can see. So if you're ever in Boston, you are able to do the Freedom Trail. You can go to the Boston Common, the State House, the Park Street Church, the Granary Buying Grounds, the King Chapel, Benjamin Franklin Square side Boston Latin School, the Old Corner Bookstore, Old South Meeting House, the Old State House, Boston Massacre, I can't even read this hardly. Something about the Faneuil Hall, the Paul Revere House, the Oronos Church, Cops Hill Burial Ground, the USS Construction, and the Bunker Hill Monument. But this right here is part of that Freedom Trail. And I actually, a long time ago, I actually went by this area. We didn't get a chance to stop because we were just passing by. And that building is really cool to see in actuality. The picture does not do justice as, to be honest with you, from how beautiful that actual building is. On foot, about 30 minutes via North Avenue, partly along a new harbor walk and over the Northern Avenue pedestrian bridge. There's plenty of taxis available in Boston Cruise Terminal, often cheaper with 2 persons or more than a cruise ship shuttle. So if you're wanting to do a taxi, you can do that, and it's a little bit cheaper. Some of the sightseeing places that you can visit here in Boston, even with so much to do and so many doing it, Boston is relatively easy place to visit. It is a historical site and laid out a simple of the following walking tours. It is a subway system efficiently with passengers around the city. You do not need to take a car, which is good. Driving into Boston is hair-raising even for locals. So It goes to show you that a lot of people do all the trains and different things like that because it's easier than driving a vehicle into Boston. The central city sits on a peninsula surrounded by the Charles River, Boston Inner Harbor, and Four Point Channel. Downtown is roughly in the middle of the peninsula, and it's also many of the Freedom Trail historic sites. Adjoining downtown to the west of the Beacon Hill, also a rich history and green expanse of Boston Common and the Boston Public Garden. Farther west is Back Bay, is a prime shopping, entertainment, and dining district. And then the Fenway area, northeast of the downtown, on its tip of the peninsula in its north end. The atmosphere is there is Italian neighborhood. South of downtown is more Chinatown. And the south end across the Charles River from downtown directly north is Charlestown. And some home to the Bunker Hill Monument and the USS Constitution. Across is the river Cambridge, another popular area for visitors, and home to the Harvard, MIT, Boston, and Cambridge. Some of the sightsees are the Freedom Trail, which I sent you. This is one of them, which passes 16 of the most famous sites from the early U.S. history: Boston Public Gardens and the Swan Boats. Newbury Street it's where its boutiques and art galleries are there. The Italian North End is Old World Ambience, Beacon Hill of the gas lamps and the Yankee Federal Architectural. Louisburg Square Mansion and the Gold Dome New State House. And south on the south end with the Victorian Road houses. You also have the Museum of Fine Arts. This place is not only beautiful in its outside, but it's even more beautiful inside. This is what the inside is. Also, you have the Isabella Stewart Garden, which is this one. I was looking at it. It's really pretty for those people that like plants and things like that. And this is what it looks like inside of the Isabella Garden. A little bit after that, you can also locate yourself going into the J.F. Kennedy Presidential Library. And I was looking at this building. It's quite impressive just to look at the building and all the historical, marks that that area has. We also, if you continue on the same site, you can find the Quincy Market. In this area, when I was reading about the Quincy Market, it gives you, like, they do a lot of different shows and you can see the inside of the market. There's like restaurants and different things that you can do there. So if you're visiting Boston and you're going by ship, or even if you're visiting there, you can see all of these different things. There's also the Harvard Museum and National History. Tour excursions and transportation. They do have the hop on and hop off trolley tours. Public transportation in Boston is convenient and it's relatively inexpensive, and you can take you directly to most of the points of interest. A single public transit agency serves the Boston metro area. The Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority and the MBTA is the fourth largest transit system in the U.S. for complete schedules, maps, and other information to see their local website. That's what it says here. If you're wanting to do maybe some shopping or maybe some food, they do have festival markets, and they are a dime a dozen. Every city, it seems like a collection of old brick buildings turned into chic little stores and endless restaurant. But one that is blazed on the past is the Boston Quincy Market, the one that I just showed you. Back in the mid-1960s, James Rouse, then a city planner, had a revolutionary idea. Instead of abandoning downtown to decay, with why not build a fun marketplace? And that's where the Boston Quincy Market is now there. So if you're looking for something fun and something to do, maybe you want to try the Quincy Market. It is visited by a lot of people. The currency in Boston is US dollars. There's ATMs everywhere in that area. And they actually take major credit cards, such as Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and all of that there, as well as cash. Their sales tax range from 2.9 to sometimes even 10%. Just to let you guys know a little bit about that information. So hopefully you guys, learn something of what to do like around the port. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Keith. And Keith is going to talk about excursions.
Thank you. Yes, Harlan, you were right. I am at TD Garden now, but I get the whole garden to myself. If I just had a basketball, I'd just throw it over my head, just like that. Okay, so let's get to. I actually have 4 excursions I'm going to show you, and I have a couple of restaurants. But the last restaurant is the one that everybody's going to want to know. It just popped in my head. So actually, this is good. So here we go. I share the screen with everybody. So let's start with let's start with this one, all right? So there we go. So this is a tour of the Boston Food History private tour. So it's $416 for the entire group, all right? Let's see let's give you guys some pictures real quick, show you. Oh my sweet gee, I'm sorry, I get a little, wow. That looks good. I get a little excited when I start seeing the food. You all know I get a little excited when I start seeing the food, but usually, oh, wait, this is like a nice little, looks like a butcher. Almost looks like a library boat. It looks like a tiny sandwich with maybe with like peppers on it. Okay, so this is what's going to be on the tour. That is small. I mean, is that the whole house? Please tell me. That is like a mini house right there. Okay, so I already showed you all that right there. So I'm sorry. So let's get back to. So I'm gonna have to. I actually say dinner. I'm gonna have to eat again because of this, which I will not. So here we go. So what's included is breakfast, air conditioned vehicle, private transportation, and let's see what else. Coffee or tea, coffee and a cannoli. So you're gonna get a cannoli for free. I mean, not for free, but part of it. Bottled water, fuel surcharge, parking fees. You're gonna get dinner out of it. You're gonna get some lunch. So looks like this is a very, very long tour. And let's see how long. What's the overview? So you're going to start the day in Little Italy with a traditional cannoli espresso at the oldest Italian cafe in Boston. Proceed through a historical Little Italy neighborhood to learn about Boston's history. Oh my. Listen to stories about the neighborhood ties to American Revolution, such as Rise of Paul Revere. Something just caught my eye real quick. $416. Let's see. Does it say how long? It usually says it on top here. It's not saying how long the tour is, which it usually says it like, oh, here we go. So it's a 5-hour tour. So, okay, so we're going to get up to the next one because obviously myself, I am getting hungry just looking at these. Okay, so let's get to the next tour for you. The next tour for everybody, and so let's see. Let's do the witches. And you're like, what witches? You'll see. Salem private half-day tour from Boston for groups 1 to 4, and that's a mighty tall and scary witch right there. You're gonna go to Salem, Massachusetts, and you're gonna see all these. Looks like it's gonna be in Salem. I would think so. Oh, it's a Salem Witch Museum. So obviously, it's probably in Boston, but it's a museum of all the witches that are in Salem and all that. So let's get to this tour. So it's $675 for the group, and it's a 4-hour tour, and it's a group of up to 4. So you can watch that. If you always want to visit the famous town, then let's do it during a Boston visit. This is a half-day Boston to Salem tour of downtown Boston, like a 45-minute drive to Salem. Stories of what happened before and during the Salem witch trials. So you're going to go to Salem, where obviously a lot of horrible things happened to a lot of people back then. As we know, they had all these stories about these witches. I mean, do we know if they're real or fake? We don't know. But there were times that people didn't like someone, and they would say that they're a witch, and some of these people would actually just end up dying regardless, just because they thought that they were a witch. Okay, well, so what's included? Private transportation. Gratuities not included. Entry to any of the sites you decide to go or not. So transportation and a licensed guide. So this is something, if you're interested in doing this, it's so it's a walking tour to the main historic downtown. So let's see all the stops. You can get a photo op, a Castle Rock. So this is not a bad tour. I mean, up to 4 people. It's like 100. Oh, it's like about $175 a person on average, right there. So let's get rid of this one, and let's go to the next one. And the next one, let's see. Got this for everybody right here, and for Boston Shore Excursion, Boston Hop On and Hop Off Trolley Tour, which is $52.45 a person. So this is like one of those little trolleys that you go around Boston, and it's a 2-hour tour, which is, for $52 for 2 hours for $52. That's not a bad price, actually. Just have someone go around for 2 hours. I mean, you could spend $25 in gas if you did it by yourself. And as you can see, it's near the port, because in the back right there, you see a cruise ship. And let's see some photos they're going to have. Okay, go there. Let's see more. And also, if those Boston is also a big college town. So you go by like Boston colleges. There's a lot of college atmosphere. So if you're a young adult, young kid who wants to go to an area where you're going to have a lot of parties in college, Boston is probably a better spot to go to than New York, especially for college. If you're looking based off of parties, not based off of schooling, I don't know. So I cannot give you that answer, but I could definitely tell you the other answer. Okay, the overview is you're in disembarking ship, take a short walk to the cruise port to Boston, explore the best the city has to offer, a hop-on, hop-off tour of Beantown, visit Boston's top attraction and loop around town, get to know the city on your own with a live on-board commentary from a professional tour conductor. And what's included is a trolley tour, narration by a professional tour, and discount on the Boston Tea Party ships and museum ticket. So if you want to go there, it's not bad. You could go get those discounts too. So that's also not a bad idea. And let's get to the last part of the excursion, and then I'm going to give you guys something to eat. I mean, aren't we all hungry? So we're going to, right after this next one, we are going to pick, there we go, a restaurant. Well, I got a couple. So this one is actually really good. So it's expensive. I'm not telling you it's cheap, okay? So it's Boston to Newport Mansion's private day trip. So I get the pictures type. It's sweet Jesus. I'm sorry, everybody. What? This is something that you do if you're on a cruise ship. if you have a cruise and you're going maybe a day or two before, you do this tour. This is a 9.5-hour tour. So just letting everybody know that one. So let's show some pictures here. And let's see. So you're gonna see the mansion. I mean, I've never been in the mansions, but obviously you're not just going to a mansion on this. This is a nice little war town. Let's see what we got. Got the bridges, another mansion. So you probably looks like you're going to maybe that looks like two different mansions. So that's what it shows you. That could possibly be a third mansion. Let's see what the overview says. And okay, so experience the best of Newport, Rhode Island on a private guided day trip tour in a comfortable luxury vehicle. So you're gonna be going to Rhode Island in this tour. That's the reason why it takes so long. So that's one thing. So you get bottled water, lunch. I mean, you're there for 9 hours. Oh no, there ain't no lunch. So you're only getting bottled water. So bring your lunch with you, but for that price, I mean, they had to have to give you like something to eat. It's 9 hours. I mean, wow. But I just want to give you guys an idea of what to do. I mean, me personally, I probably would not recommend this one. Just the fact that if you're paying that amount, they should at least feed you. But that's just my opinion. Okay, so we're gonna stop sharing that one, and I have 4 restaurants I'm gonna show you real quick, and so next up is the restaurants part, which is obviously, if you don't know, so since Scott has been here in a while, Scott, this is a new segment that I do. Is I bring up usually like 2 or 3 restaurants, but this time I did 4 because the 4th one is it's a special one. Let's just say the 4th one might have something to do with an old TV show. So if you want to have to take your time to guess what that is. So welcome to the Barking Crab. So this is a seafood place. And let's get their menu up for you. Okay. So New England clam chowder 10. So this is all like a crab place, seafood place. They got mussels. This is not a place for me. I'm not a big. I'm not a seafood eater. Unless it's made hibachi style, I'll try it. But they do get chicken. Okay, so I could go there and have some chicken for myself or the skirt steak, but I'll do the chicken because I'm trying to stay away from all that red meat right now. They can't offer separate checks, but I don't know why you would go out. If you go out with a group of people, as a group, you'll decide on how to pay it, not separate checks. So if you want 3-pound lobster, $88. I mean, I do like lobster tail. So lobster tail is good. I would eat lobster tail. So this is actually not a bad seafood place to go to. What's it? Oh yeah, this is the menu. I still have up there. I was like, what is this new thing that just showed up? Okay, so let's get to the next one. Okay, now this is a steakhouse. Obviously, it's when I looked at it, it's a 5-star steakhouse, so more than likely it's not going to be cheap. But what steakhouse is ever cheap? And wow, they got a lot of them. Let's get to Boston. Oh, they got it. They got it in New York City. So didn't even know that. So that's something. Okay, let's get a quick overview on this. Hey, there's no prices on here, so usually when there's no prices, expect that it's going to be expensive. So 10 off. So I'm just going to go down here and put this up here for the video. Oh, they got the bacon. Bacon's always the best part if they have it at the steakhouses. I know in Brooklyn, I had like Peter Lucas. Oh, that's like one of the best bacon I had. To me, if a steakhouse has the bacon and they make it right, it could be better than the steak itself. I am not kidding. So has anyone figured out what my last one is actually going to be. Oh my God. A lot of people talking. So, yes, Joanne, Boston is on our list. Maybe for Thanksgiving weekend we go there. You know, that's not a bad idea. So, has anyone figured out what my fourth restaurant is going to be? Because I have two more to go. And I want to give you guys a hint. I'm not going to give you a hint, but it has something to do with an old TV show. I think from the 70s or the 80s. So please, and it's a phrase that you always say at a bar. So this is a bar, right? Yeah, this is called the Street Bar. Do they have any? So this is what they have. Oh, breakfast. Oh, here we go. Let's get the all-day menu. Okay, I'm just gonna put this real quick for everybody so you can see it. And I mean, those look like really, really good glasses. I was like, you can tell it's made good. Okay, let's see what beers they have. Yeah, I'm actually looking to see what if I was here, I would get the Zero Gravity Stone. Yeah. Oh, or the Lagunitas. Oh, that's not an alcoholic. So, well, right now, yeah, I can't be drinking the alcohol. But when I was drinking, if I was drinking actual alcohol, I would do the IPAs. Okay. So let's get a quick picture of this. So we got a couple minutes, and it has some, dining, public space. Yeah. So let's get the. Okay, I'm not gonna go to each one. I'm just gonna pull it down, and it looks like a nice, fancy little bar. I'll be honest, it's really, really nice. And now, save the best for last, everybody. What is something that you do at a bar after you and your friends get your first drink? All right? What do you do? Well, I'm gonna show you what you do. You like to, click the glasses and say, "What? Cheers!" And that's the bar. This is So this is Cheers Boston, obviously. So this is a replica. Maybe it might be from where the actual TV show was. I don't know where the actual TV show was actually filmed, but this is a replica of the actual Cheers restaurant. I don't see any. Okay, so let's get to the. Okay, let's get to the entrees real quick. And I'll go back. Fish and chips, salmon, veggies, meatballs, mac and cheese. So it's just a little thing, but it's more of a, like, to say, oh, I was at the Cheers. This is, you could tell that it's not like a crazy bar menu that you're like, oh, it's great, I have to be there. But it's to say that you've been to Cheers and they have a store, I think, in there where you can buy shirts and all this memorabilia and stuff there. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Tinkerbell, you can now come back.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So when I'm doing all the share screen and everything, so I am not paying attention to the chat. So I don't know if anyone guessed that it was going to be Cheers. So.
Well, really quickly, I just want to welcome a whole bunch of people that are here on the show. Controversial Cruising is here. One Sharma Adventure, thank you for showing up. Joanne, she is here. Martin Gonzalez is also here. Harlan M, the Mustard Drill. We got everybody, I think.
Yeah. So One Sharma, Bill, thank you for coming in. Yep, because I didn't get a chance to say hello because I was doing this. I was in. That was usually I don't put up that many restaurants, but because it's a lot easier in Boston. Because also I didn't pick everything by the port because Boston's very easy to get around.
Right.
So I mean,
so I guess you're going over there with Joanne sometime in Thanksgiving.
Well, here's the funny. So a while ago we thought about going, right? But we didn't feel like driving. We like Oscar. We don't want to drive. So we were looking at a train, and then I looked at a plane. They were almost the same price. I was like,
Oh, wow.
I was like, why was it so expensive to take a train to Boston? It makes no sense. And you know what's even more crazy? It drives me crazy, right? Talk about the cruise industry, right? Why do cruises? Maybe you as a travel agent can help me out, help answer my delusional, going crazy all the time. Why are cruises out of Boston so much more expensive than they are out of like New York? Every time I look at it, I always feel like they're more expensive.
I'll be honest, I will have no idea. I
But,
don't
but
book a
I
lot.
am right?
I don't book a lot out of Boston, to be honest with you. And I'm not sure, maybe it's okay, it says Keith, you live like 5 minutes from Boston. Where are you waiting
It's
for?
it's 3.5 hours, okay? 3.5 hours. It's like
That's like from here to Miami. I do that like in a blink of an eye.
I know. About 3.5 hours, you know.
Actually, I think you would pass the Mustard Joe's house. You could pick him up and continue on your way to Boston.
So the messenger will actually have to get onto 95, which is right by my house. So, which is the same expressway that goes to Miami,
Mhm.
you know. And that's
Oh,
where
look at
everybody-
that. See? You guys can
Yeah.
come on over.
Oh yeah, that's a long expressway.
Harlan says the last time in Boston, it was easy to get around. I think we were the first in the ship after the COVID. Yeah, as a TA, I don't sell a lot of like cruises out of Boston. I don't know if Scott, because he's also a TA, if maybe he does a lot of Boston because he lives down that way. I sell more Florida and than anything else.
Oh yeah, so I want to apologize to everybody. I kind of screwed up today. You know how? I forgot to put my camera on. So I'm on the camera on my laptop, not my external camera. I sat down, I did the whole thing, and I realized that while I was in the middle of doing my segment, and you see where I like paused for a second, I was like, oh my god, I forgot my camera. I'm like, oh, it's too late now.
Hey, that's part of being in YouTube. These things happen.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it.
Hey, but at least we went through it. Everything went fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So we do have a some announcements that we want to do. For those of you that haven't been here in a little bit, we actually have our first ever Across the Wave group cruise.
Definitely.
Right?
He's right on the bottom here, and throughout the chat, my Nightbot puts it up like every 10 minutes. Unlike the last time, it was every 5 minutes, but my wife said I'm doing it too much. So I was like, all right, I'll change this to 10 minutes.
All right, so we're going to show this really quick video clip.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here to announce our next group cruise. It's an 8-day vacation on the Carnival Mardi Gras, and it's for more than just traveling with Tinkerbell or cruising with Keith. This one's for all of Across the Waves. We're heading out on August 30th and coming back on September 7th of 2025. Here's the itinerary so everyone knows what to get ready for. We're departing from Port Canaveral in Orlando, Florida on the 30th. We've got our first 2 days at sea, so you've got plenty of time to check out the ship. They've got Shaq's Big Chicken at the back of the boat, free pizza, a huge pool, slides, and even theater shows on the lower decks if you're into that kind of thing. From there, we'll be stopping at St. Thomas, San Juan, Amber Cove, one more day at sea, and then the brand new Celebration Key. If you're interested in joining us, you can book now at jagonzalez@expediacruises.com. The phone number is 813-608-2935, and the website link will be in the description below. We hope to see you when the time comes.
Definitely. We hope to see you when the time comes.
Yeah. So that's in August 30th of 2025. So you don't know, that's going to be the week of Labor Day. And it's not that often that you get to take an 8-night cruise and only use 4 days of work.
Exactly. And the Mustard Joe, he's never sold a Boston departure. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I've never done it either, so I don't know. So
I mean, also every time I look at the ships that they have in Boston, it's always like the smaller ships. Like it's always like the Splendor, the Jam. I'm trying to think of another ship that I went on. the Pride that was there before. So it's
Right.
always like small shit. You're not going.
Harlan, I'm sorry, Keith.
But
Harlan, really quickly, the Across the Wave is in August, sir. It's August 30th to August to September. So it's the last week of August. It's not in April. April is traveling with Tinkerbell. So that's a different group
yeah,
cruise.
so on the bottom of mine was this group cruise, August 30th,
Mhm.
2025, on the Mardi Gras. So, so that's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun, and I'm excited about Celebration Key because
Yeah,
first
that's
of all,
gonna be a lot of fun.
I've never been to a private island of a cruise company, so that would be my first time actually doing that. So, because I was supposed to go to one years ago, but then one of Carnival's ones, but
Right.
um, they would tender you, but we weren't able to go to the port because the water was too rough.
Right. And for this group cruise, guys, just so that you guys know, we are going to be doing
Water event.
like an excursion together in Celebration Key. That way it doesn't cost anybody anything. We'll just have like a get together. We'll figure something
Yeah.
we're going to be doing out. We still have a long ways to plan like the whole thing. We will be having a Facebook group for Across the Wave as well.
Yep.
There's also going to be a T-shirt for those that are going to be going for Across the Wave, so you guys can have at least something to have as a memory.
Yeah. So
Um,
if you book through Jackie, you will get the T-shirts.
Yep. We're going to be doing all of that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a way for the Across the Wavers to get together and be able to enjoy that time together. Hold on.
Who's that?
I don't know. I think it's one of yours.
I don't know who this is.
So you might want to remove that person.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll Keith is taking care of that. So yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun for
Thank
the
you,
group.
Mr. Joel. I have no clue who that is.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
we're gonna be having a really cool time with everybody from across the wave, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So we're gonna have some slot pool, different kind of things that we're planning on. So Keith and I are still working on getting everything together for you guys. So if you guys are interested, I know some people have called me, have inquired about the information, so I have provided that. So hopefully we'll be able to get a couple of people to go with us and enjoy. Keith and I will be both on that trip, God permitting. We will be there. So hopefully that all of my Across the Wavers will also come along. Anything else you want to add, Keith?
I mean, well, so Friday I have my live, which is gonna be at 8 p.m. You know, and obviously next Wednesday we have our Across the Waves live from the Utopia of the Seas. So, and I have about, I think, 81, 82 days to my cruise on the Celebration. All right. Someone just, you see it, right?
Yep. So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you got it.
Building it. That's why. That's
All
why
right.
I always moderate. Thank you, everybody. This has never happened to me before.
Hey, it is what it is. He's apologizing, but it is what it is. But anyhow, so yeah, so we're going to be coming live from Utopia next week on Wednesday. So it's going to be at 8 p.m. Hopefully everything, Wi-Fi and everything permitting. So I think we should be fine. Wednesday, I will be leaving out of Perfect Day at Coco Cay. I will be having a live stream on Tuesday, and we're going to be having a live stream on Monday. I'll be having a sail away and possibly the naming ceremony. I'll be going live on that so you guys can see it. So it's going to be a lot of work next week, a lot of live streaming. But
Yeah. So, I mean, see, one thing I always do on cruises is I always like to do, and my brother does it for me. Like when my brother goes, like sometimes you'll see me get a room tour, but I'm not on a cruise. Like that means my brother went on a cruise and he gave me a room tour. So I always put room tours like on my cruise, on every cruise I go on.
Right. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. So hopefully you guys will see all of our shows next week. I think you have a show this Friday, right, Keith?
Yeah, I have a show this Friday, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so yeah. So if you haven't watched my videos lately, they actually found that 14-year-old who went missing. Thanks to someone who left one in the comments, the person emailed me news stories from Germany, so which I was very thankful for. And but the whole minute it came there, I was like, oh god, it's in German. But thank God for Google Translation, where they translated the whole thing.
Right.
So I do want to thank that person for actually sending me those links about that.
Talking a little bit about that, about the 14-year-old, I can elaborate a little bit about this situation because I travel with a minor for my daughter's 15th birthday on the Carnival Horizon last year in October. And my daughter's 15 and her friend she was 16 at the time. She's now 17. And I got off the ship and she was under my cabin. I got off the ship because she was going with my daughter's family on an excursion, on a different excursion. So she was having trouble they had an issue getting her off the ship because I already had left the ship without her. And they were not letting her get off the ship. So the ship called me on my cell phone to see if I gave permission for her to leave with my family because they were going on another excursion. And I had to explain the whole situation. And that's when they let her go. That's why it was so weird. And I don't know, it has to have something else had to have happened for that child to have. They don't just leave the kid go out without the parent.
No. That's the reason why I texted you the other day, and I was just like sitting there thinking, it's like, would a cruise line really let a minor just walk off the cruise without the parents? And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, you would have heard a news story at some point in the past couple of years if they actually do. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, no, it probably does not happen. And now, once you told me to clarify it, which was they have to be with the guardian or the parent, whoever they are, with their room. And
the only thing that comes to mind is if grandma and the grandchild was leaving the ship, and if they maybe clocked in the grandchild first, like take him off, like they swiped the card and he came off, and then something happened with the grandma. That's the only thing that I can think. That's the only reason that I can come to mind that the kid was able to leave the ship. Because he probably he had the grandma there and he came off first and then maybe the grandma, but maybe something happened. But I don't know because every cruise line does it different. So I don't know how Princess handled that kind of a thing.
That's the thing. Like, and the thing is, if they're just if there's that's the one down you don't know is like, okay, so you got him walking out with the card and you got other people walking out. And if they think that's maybe one of their relatives, right? But they're not in the same room. So, if the security thinks that there's a possibility they might let the child go, thinking that.
I just feel bad for the grandma. I feel horrible. I'm like,
I felt so bad because I'm like, I mean, the way it sounds like it makes it sound like the grandma is like some really, really old lady who can barely walk, right? Right? The way all these stories sound like, and I'm like, and the minute I show my wife the story, she's like, not the grandmother. You were laughing. I was dying laughing. But I'm like, I felt so bad for the grandmother because she must have been. I mean, but not only that, this is the new age. You go and try to meet somebody, a gamer. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm 14 years old. I'm not trying to meet a gamer. If I was him, I'd be trying to maybe meet a girl. Not a gamer.
The thing is that these kids nowadays, they don't really realize, the danger out there. Truly, like it's crazy, but it happens.
It doesn't matter.
Happens every day.
Doesn't matter how good. Yes, some countries look bad, some look good, but even the safest country in the world, there's a possibility that something can happen to you.
Mhm.
And as a kid, that's like, oh yeah, no, you think nothing happened. All it takes is somebody. Yes, he's a tall guy kid, but still, they could just take him, throw him back in the van, and that's it. Boom.
I agree. It's a little crazy, but it is what it is. You can't. I don't know. When I was reading the news, I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah, that and Texas got hit really bad with the hurricane.
Yep, it's crazy. So we pray for everybody over there in Texas. Hopefully, everybody. I have family. Well, my in-laws are over there, and my other two boys that live in San Antonio are also over there, but they're doing okay. So, hopefully everybody in Texas is doing good. Well, with that being said, this is the end of our show. I'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. We don't have a port, but we have a brand new ship to show you.
Yeah, so this is going to be a really, really good one. So, and hopefully, maybe we could promote it a little bit so that people
That's right.
want to see it.
Definitely. So I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Please stay safe. Love you guys all to the moon and back. Thank you so much for being here today. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Toodaloo. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Love you guys all.